Hey, okay, so here we are. Thanks for coming back to Project Risotto. I've been hacking more stuff off of the Honda Fit. This is the driver's side frame, and yeah, so this is where the driver's side engine mount uh, was located. This is sort of like the fender, and the shock tower would be right here. So yeah, no, it's just I don't know. It's an interesting little piece of engineering that Honda did as far as just still press steel, simple manufacturing. Well, not simple, but so just industrial manufacturing. We have like a straight beam basically going to a like a wider, stronger portion as it gets closer to the firewall. And so yeah, I had to carefully pop out this this piece of metal, and actually when you're doing this stuff, I know this is just like Honda. It's like so many other manufacturers do pretty much the same stuff, but just the level of engineering that goes into designing all these just different layers of metal to be stamped and assembled and like welded in order. Just like just 3 layers of metal to create that, and it's incredibly strong, and for what it is, pretty lightweight. Yeah, it's just neat to see this kind of manufacturing. Maybe I'm the only one that appreciates this kind of stuff, but yeah, I think that's impressive. And so you want to kind of, if you give a crap about how strong the vehicle is, you kind of want to preserve all this stuff as much as possible. Now, yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit when I was like looking at everything, how because the frames get wider as it gets closer to the firewall, right at the mount it starts to kind of tighten up and kind of kink up in the passenger or in the engine compartment. And so I was like trying to figure out, okay, it's not a straight frame rail, it's a more complex shape. The Fiat 128 engine bay, it's just straight flat rails. It doesn't change. And so trying to incorporate kind of a curved rail into a straight rail thing, it poses its own little set of challenges. So let me just show you what I've been doing. Okay, so basically have the engine mount jig locator sort of set up, so that is at its kind of final place, and then we cut into the fender wall there, and you can see how, because this bolted on to where it was tapering down, it's kind of wider. It kind of cuts in more into the frame rail. Oh, come on, just focus, you son of a. Back there, then here it's kind of almost at the outside edge of the frame rail. So yeah, I wanted to be able to preserve as much strength as possible before cutting all that out. So we're only just doing this little kind of one step at a time here. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of notching out the rest of this metal right here, and on the on the piece from the Honda, we're kind of doing the opposite. We're going to be cutting this up to about here and removing this little piece right here so that it will essentially kind of puzzle piece into that void, and then probably kind of drill some holes, you know, all over this. Well, not right there. There's not going to be any metal. Basically, I guess on this side over here, where we can just do like some plug welds into that metal right there, and then after that, on this kind of side over here that would connect to this, we are going to add another piece of that frame boxing in a clever way so that it kind of tapers into that, and then it will also kind of wrap over this and box the rest of this into here. So it's going to be a multi-layering structure that should add back. Sorry, I'm trying to not talk loud. I always forget about not talking loud when I'm holding the camera in front of my face. It should add back all the strength that is going to be taken away by chopping out this kind of area of this frame. So, and then we'll take a Sharpie there, and we'll just do like a little angle cut like that. And we'll take some more metal and kind of box this in and have it taper down into and go across, and it'll be like just a whole other layer of metal coming down to meet this face and get welded onto this face, so it'll kind of box everything all together. Maybe, you know, it's sort of kind of making sense to you perhaps when I describe it like this, but basically we're just trying to retain all the strength as it kind of goes around all this, so that there's space for the engine mount to sit in here and everything still be strong. So that's what we're doing. It's not going to get all done in this episode, but we're just going to probably get closer to it. So let's get to it. So I cut it purposefully in sort of a triangle. It's going to be like kind of boxed out, but it's going to be sort of a triangle cross section, so that there's going to be uh, room for, if the wheel turns in to make a right-hand turn, there's not going to be a lot of metal for the tire to rub on or catch on. And I'm going to try and add back as much rigidity as I'm taking out of this. In order to kind of get this to fit into the existing frame and sheet metal, I had to kind of cut away carefully cut away all this layer of metal, so that, and there's 2 layers of metal spot weld together, and then an additional third piece that has the bolt bosses. This is the driver's side engine mount, and it mounts up like that. And so I wanted to preserve that as cleanly as possible, and we're going to be doing plug welds to basically attach this to the inner frame area. And then we're going to tie into the shock tower structure plate in there also, so that everything will be as strong, hopefully, as possible. Everything is going to be basically kind of pulling from the outside in, so all the strength should kind of theoretically be there. It's not just hanging on the inside and getting ready to be yanked off or anything like that. Anyway, so yeah, I just changed the wire in my welder to solid wire with the gas. Hopefully I have enough gas. It's always annoying when you weld and you're like, always need more gas. Anyway, I will show you. Oh yeah, and also the sealed beam lights in here that came with the car. One of them worked. They were very old. I just wanted to figure out something, a better solution. Anyway, a guy on Facebook Marketplace was getting rid of his old 7-inch Jeep, stock Jeep headlights. I guess he went over to LED. And so I was like, sure, I'll take a punt on them. They were cheap. And I mean, I'll be damned. They fit exactly into the buckets. 2017 Jeep headlights fitting into 1977 Fiat buckets. It's nice when there is consistency in the headlight world. So yeah, those just popped right in. I do need to get new connectors to connect them to what's going to be the Honda wiring harness in there, but yeah, that was a nice little surprise. And I would rather have like the old style looking lights with the faceted glass lenses, but these are like 25 to 30% lighter in weight, and they should be just as good as the old ones. So that's done. And that was cheap. That was like 40 or 50 bucks just to get those, and they're in fantastic condition. So yeah, there's a bonus there. And I just kind of threw on the grill just to see how everything kind of looked together. All right, so let's continue with this. And then there's this little frame. There's like a little doubler plate right here, and it ended, and so I'm just made like a little piece to fill in that place where the missing doubler plate metal is. And so that will just make that just one large heavy-duty doubled piece to hold this frame metal onto. So let's get welding. Okay, another day. So we've got this frame piece welded into the wheel well on the driver's side of the Fiat. And it's not really super visible, but I also put in like a little tab that goes into the strut tower reinforcement. Just did a couple of holes right there so that on the other side of this we can add another piece of nice heavy-duty Honda plate into the inside of the frame. And here's a piece of Honda frame. So that goes in like that, and we'll get plug welded on this side here and welded, seam welded right there, as well as being plug welded on the other side to just kind of fully extend that reinforcement and that strength and spread that load over a greater area. And yes, we got an open little area here because I just after getting this welded in and making sure that that was solid, it allowed me to chop out this guy, and that's going to just allow much better access to drop the engine in from the top. I'm going to I guess you'll see it, but just make a sheet metal plate that spans this area and goes over the face of this, and we'll get spot or plug welded to that also. And yeah, that should get a good portion of that complete and strong enough to hang an engine out of. Okay, and so we're at this point of playing with cardboard and getting ready to box up the open ends of these frame pieces. Spin. Very comprehensively welded all around. Yes, it's a little goobery, but strength was the main concern, not beauty. And this is the inside. Got a couple of good strong plug welds through that 3 layers of steel right there. And the seam, that's all super strong. It's all one piece now. It's not beautiful, but this is not about being beautiful.
Tuition is capped at around $12,000 for UK students, even for schools like Oxford and Cambridge.
Okay, so it's another day, and here is the little metal-y fabrication-y deal. Some bent metal that needs to fit in here, but before that, I have down here in the corner some holes in the box section of the frame right in the corner there. It looks like where some battery acid or whatever had settled and eaten that away, and so I just made myself out of some scrap copper tubing a little copper paddle to kind of hold back behind the holes as I kind of carefully spot them closed. And then after that, we are going to pop in this little piece that was kind of it wasn't a bear to make, but you just had to be very, very careful about, you want everything to fit nice and tight. So that is what it is. I'm not going to jam it into place because I don't think I can get it back out. It's kind of getting that snug. So I'm going to wrestle it into place after I try and attempt plugging these holes in the frame. So we'll reconvene after that. Yes, this guy. It's nice to have all the tools and stuff that you need to do stuff, but it's like a simple job sometimes turns into like, I need 10 different tools, and that's cool. I love this die grinder. I got it for free, and I had to make another switch for it. But the thing about these die grinders are when you're cutting steel, it turns everything into steel splinters moving at escape velocity. And yeah, I'm too lazy to, and it's too hot to put on a long sleeve shirt because I'm an idiot. So anyway, yeah, I think I got a reasonably good penetration with all that. It's, it's not perfect. That's not what this car is about, being perfect. I welded up the holes, and so I think that's pretty much taken care of. Let's move on to plugging up this frame. So let's do that. Mallet, as I guess they like to be called. It's kind of what I figured would happen. Alright, well that's bringing that up a little bit. Holes are pretty matchy-matchy. That side's fitting nice. This is relatively nice. Okay, well, I think that is what they call kind of good enough for government work. So yeah, 4, 8, 13 plug welds. And if I decide to go nuts, maybe welding around the where the frame rails are opened onto the new piece. All right, let's do this. Well, okay, so I think probably it wasn't me, but another guy, I think it's Soup Classic Motoring. I remember he was saying that grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. This is not a welding tutorial video. This is me just getting this done. And as with everything, when you are doing everything by yourself, if you're not welding on a day-to-day basis, you fall out of practice, and it's basically you have to kind of learn the knack of it over again. I do have an oxyacetylene setup, but I didn't want to mess around with that. Making this up, even though apparently, the MIG welds are harder than the parent metal, I'm not going to worry about it. I think this is going to be super bomber solid. It already feels crazy solid as it is, and that's before I even start boxing up the back half of this inside the wheel well. So yeah, I'm going to call this a good progress. I still need to do the passenger side engine mount, but I had already figured out the placement for that one, and so it's not going to be straightforward necessarily. There's a lot of, I want to make it even a little bit more compact so that it doesn't intrude into the coilover space, and just makes everything nice and tidy. So yeah, hopefully next weekend I can get the other side completely finished, welded in. probably not going to get all the fender metal shaped and fitted and welded in, but we're going to get closer. This has been an interesting challenge, and I really appreciate you guys coming along. Just want to give a shout out to all the friends and family that are following me, and all of my new friends and family in my, I guess, my subscribers that care to watch this. I'm doing really pretty good. Still making more progress on the foundation for the new shop next door to the garage here, and just working hard at trying to make the house as nice as possible for me and Athena, and trying to stay out of trouble as this crazy world just keeps turning. Everything in this world just seems crazy, and I think that's just mainly what it is. It just seems crazy. Oh, yeah, I did show my opening scene of my feature film at a showcase in Colorado recently, and that was really a fantastic experience. And nothing beats showing part of your film that you created to an audience that even though they had a couple of beers, I think they genuinely enjoyed it. So it was a really good experience, and yeah, I want to finish editing the rest of the film, the rest of the feature. But yes, I have too many interests, too many things I want to create, too many things I want to do. So I guess this is just how it rolls out. Anyway, I'll try to get this edited and up by Labor Day. That's in tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye.